What up, YouTube? It's your boy, Detroit Love, with the live video. Hey, it's Saturday Night Live, and I haven't gone live in a while, so I just want to talk about a few things. And so let's talk about Arcade1up. Man, while we appreciate them having uh, Internet of Things, right? Connected devices, Wi-Fi enabled cabinets that you can update, so that you can get releases, fixes, and updates. But dang, don't they have beta testers? I thought they had this program that they have people sign up, that people signed up for, to allow them to um, test these products, these updates. I don't get it. Um, Talking about this, the latest fiasco with the Golden Tee 3D. So let's do this. I said, let's do this. Let's just talk about this, man. This is it's just a little insane to me. So as you guys know, the
one trying for birdie.
nice looking cabinet, The only thing people really had to complain about is that 19-inch screen, the viewing angles. They got themselves a winner here. Perfect size, beautiful. Got the faux coin door, nice speakers, the trackball working well, and then they released this update that just immobilized, that broke the cabinet. Just seems weird, man, that they would not test these things. I mean, they have one of the biggest support groups. It kind of reminds me. I was on Kicking It Old School with Glenn yesterday. Was just talking about the things in the past, and I used to run this website called Palm Loyal, deal with the Palm OS devices, and Palm had the biggest support group. This is way back then, where it was unheard of that. What up, Kev Grit? Hey brother, if you're available, you can get on. You have to message me and I can send you a link if you want to talk about this. But just like, why don't they utilize the community that supports them and want them to succeed? It's just mind blowing. So let me put your comment up there. Yo, Detroit Love. One Up has high schoolers making their patches. It's just silly. So message me if you want to get in, brother. I can send you a link just to talk about this. But Palm Inc. had one of the biggest followings. This predates Apple getting into the phone business. They had, this is when, there was no app stores. There was, it was primitive technology as far as the internet was concerned. This predates YouTube. You didn't have videos that you can just put up and show people and do these things. You didn't have any of this stuff. But Palm had the biggest following, and they just shot themselves in the foot by not utilizing that fan base. I mean, we told them for years to say, man, give us more memory. The internet was catching on. Look, you got to give us connect devices. And they just moved so slowly. This was a decade or more ago. And so it just blows my mind that Arcade1up could possibly go down this route that Palm did. And you know what? I don't know if you guys know, Palm came out with their what was that stone? The first touch um, phone is right on the tip of my tongue. Looked like a little pebble. Was it called a pebble? And it was a little sluggish, but it was a pretty cool phone. And then the iPhone was announced. Then HP bought out Palm, and they basically used their WebOS for their uh, TV systems, their TV OS. Um, but Palm had the industry in the palm of his hand. They had a network of loyal base that basically told them they hand fed them what you need to do, what you need to add, and they just you know let Apple come and kick on their butt. What up, Ashley? Um, so it's so Palm missed out on a huge opportunity. Uh, Apple probably paid HP to buy them out to get rid of the WebOS. Who knows? But Palm was on a success train, and they blew it. And it always irked me that they didn't use the fan base. Now, Arcade1up, 2000, the years 2018, they come out of nowhere and they make these cabinets available. They have been listening to the fan base, and they've given us backlit marquees. They've given us um, coin doors or faux coin doors. They've given us matching, risers, and now no risers, and giving us bigger cabinets. I mean, they're listening to the fan base, but for some reason, in the area of the updates, they're ignoring the fan base, people that have their products to be able to test these things. It's just baffling. I just hope they make the adjustments, because it's pretty frustrating. You have a cabinet, it's working fine. An update comes up, you think, oh boy, this is perfect. It's going to get better, and then it gets worse. We've had the big blue had its challenges with updates, um, and we have other updates in the past. It's like, come on, Palm, come on, Arcade1up. I'm already calling you Palm. Don't blow this. Don't blow this, man. Just utilize the base of people that you have that want your product to succeed, want to have a kick-ass home arcade. So it's a win-win. You win by getting people who actually use it. You could give them to them a week, a month, and let them play around with these updates and see where the issues are and resolve these issues before you send it out to everybody. So let me see. Check over here at the messages. So what's on your mind there, Ashley, Kev, Gret? Appreciate you guys coming through. I'm not looking at the YouTube side, so I don't know um, what's happening there. But what do you guys think about this whole update fiasco? Should they be contacting their loyal fan base? Uh, you had a Palm Pilot as well, and those things. I still have several Palm Pilots. Some still work, and I would think I have at least 3 or 4. But those devices were cool as heck. Um, and we had something called Homebrew back on the Palm OS. A Homebrew, you can load whatever apps you wanted. It was pretty cool. Um, it was like it predates jailbreaking on the iPhone. It gave us the ability to do homebrewed apps where we could make these devices do whatever we wanted. I've always been a modder. No matter what gadget I owned, it's been hacked uh, every time I've owned anything that could be hacked. What you say here, Kev Greb? This isn't the first time OneUp published a bad patch. Not sure how they keep doing it. Yeah, it's definitely not the first time. I just don't get why they don't just pick a handful of people that have the cabinet and let them play with the patch. And I mean, people spend hours and hours on these devices. Let them be the guinea pig. So Ashley says, I'm disappointed. I brought it on the pre-sale. I'm gentle with it, but if I spin a new golden tee ball too fast, it barely registers a shot. Yeah, and I know that feeling firsthand. When I first got my golden tee, I set up a computer. I was going to mod it. I set up a computer with PC. I had the more modern versions. I think like 2005, 6, and 7 golden tee. Looked beautiful, but is exactly what you're complaining about. What up, Alan? That's exactly what you're complaining about. I had that issue with that mod. I got the Glenn Retro Shows adapter that allows me to hook it up to the computer. Matter of fact, it's still in my golden tee, and when you would hit the ball, it would just like go like 4 or 5 feet. It was horrible. And so I decided, I don't know what the heck's going on here. I don't feel like changing out the whole trackball and all that. So I just aborted that plan and stuck that computer into my toy shock. But I definitely would like to do that, and I was thinking about going that route with if I get the new XL Golden Tee 3D and putting a PC into it, because it's a beautiful looking cabinet, nice size. Kev Gret, Ellen saying, "What up?" Hey, Ellen, why don't you share your link to your YouTube channel? I hadn't seen any of your videos, so put that link up. I'd definitely like to check it out. But yeah, it's I had the same exact issue. This was with a mod, and what up, Papa Brad? What's going on, brother? And so I aborted the plan because the ball would not go. I mean, if you swing it like you would go like 350 yards, and it would go like 5 or 6 yards. So it was ridiculous. Yeah, so I just wanted to get on and vent a little bit. I'm testing out this light in the middle. And so how does it look here with the green screen? Let me just switch up. Let me just switch up another picture. Yeah, because I'm just working around with this. I got this one of those ring lights in front of me, so that I can have these side lights focused just on the background. So let's try this one. How about that one? Because yesterday I still see a little bit of bounciness there, so I have to play around with that in the lower corner there. Thanks, Ashley. Yeah, I mean, it's just like companies wish they had access to a fan base that that has their back, that wants them to be successful, want them to create better products, want to see them succeed, and to just not utilize that and push out problems that actually break people's products. That's just nonsense, man. It's like, you got resources that are available to you, and hell, you don't even have to pay them. I mean, you could choose to give them free cabinets so they can test it out, but you got so many people that would do it just to make sure you're successful at no cost, and to not even seek that out. I don't know. And I know they had a beta program. I've not heard anything about it in such a long time, so I don't know if they're still doing it, or they're just not utilizing them, or they're giving them to people and they're not actually testing it. I have no idea what Brady Goat. What you saying here, Alan? I haven't kicked off my channel yet. I'm just mainly on Twitter. Okay. I never hardly utilized any of those other platforms, which is probably why my subscriber count is just hovering just below 5,000, because I'm just not utilizing tools. I don't live on the internet like a lot of these other guys do. I love spending time with my family and being outdoors. So I come in and do what I do, and then I get back out there. But I enjoy talking about this stuff. I enjoy You know, I enjoy these cabinets. Thanks, Quentin. Yeah, you know, I enjoy these cabinets, man, and I want these guys to be successful. Because just thinking about it, 2018, you know, most of us didn't have any cabinets in um, our home. I had my arcade that I used with my iPad, and then all of a sudden that thing just stopped working. That thing was pretty cool. I don't know if you guys know that, but the arcade actually started off as a April Fool's joke. You know, especially with April. Yesterday was April Fool's. The arcade started off as a April Fool's joke, but when they released the fake story, people was like, "Oh man, this is a cool product," and they actually put it to market because it was a pretty cool product. And like I said, I mod, I hack, whatever. So my iPad was jailbroken. I actually had this program that would worked over Bluetooth that would actually allow you to simulate touching the screen. So I was playing games like NBA Jam on there with this joystick and buttons on the iPad because this program will simulate where you're touching on the screen, and obviously the screen will have a virtual joystick and virtual buttons, and that was the coolest stuff, man. What you're saying here, Ashley? Let me put this up here. They did so much right with the Star Wars cab, even with all the little details. It just doesn't feel they are going all out for that prize anymore, resting on their accomplishments from that. Yeah, you can see my Star Wars back there. Love to have a coin door on that thing, other than those banners. And it's like they started with that one, right? It's like let's make these things smaller, and it's almost the perfect area where you can put in the coin door. And I like the way with that Star Wars. I wish they would do this with these the newer ones where they're actually putting the faux coin door on it, is to give you some type of design around it, not just put the solid black. Even though you see here my Galaga has a solid black because I just flipped that board around, um, and I put the coin door on. The You can't see it back there. Let me get out the way, the wrong way. But with my coin door on my Street Fighter, that's actually the Tulsa Arcade coin door panel. So I actually still have uh, that panel intact. What up, Goofy Foot? Uh, Says Arcade1up has a YouTube account. I don't understand why nobody posts any complaints, calls them out, other than Kev Gret. Well, hey, I call a spade a spade. I've never held back on, you know, voicing my opinion. Uh, and my wife will tell you that. I'm gonna tell the truth whether I get slapped for it or not. But yeah, I mean, I haven't been on their page in ages. Um, but I don't have that cabinet either. But um, I just got the Tempest Legacy machine today. What up, Coffee Boy? It's great and I love it. I also have the Midway Legends one up and the Super Pac-Man Countercade, plus some at Games cab. So far, I'm happy. Yeah, I mean, like I said, prior to 2018, we had none of this stuff, and none of these things weren't even available at that. Uh, Even though the prices are going up, we still look. I mean, I got what 10, 12 of these. I don't even know, and I was like everybody else when that Street Fighter came out. I was like, do I? But it was a no brainer because I was gonna mod it, and I don't know how much money I put into it. If I look at one of my videos, I'm sure I have the total cost for the pie and everything, and the backlit marquee, the coin door. I put a lot of money into that cabinet, and that's still a pretty awesome cabinet. Likewise with my Galaga, I put tons of money. So when people complain about the money, you know, yeah, we'd like to spend less, but in reality, if you can get the cabinet that you like, and I thought with this Golden T3D, this has come closest to, just a perfect cabinet. Again, the 19-inch monitor with the viewing angles, we struggle with those issues, especially like on my Countercade, right? The viewing angles were wacky. They've known about these issues to release that product without testing and verifying. I guess they just figured who's going to care. We're all going to care, right? It's just like you come so close, and then you just make these decisions. I know that some of these decisions are based on cost, timing. They want to try and get these things out, but man, it's just very frustrating when they don't give it the TLC that they could. Uh, exactly. I still love my original consoles, but could never afford any cabs until now. The Tempest, I think, is so far my favorite. I have the Tempest now. I like the Tempest, but the button layout drives me crazy, and I hadn't done a video on it. It's like I don't have it right in front of me here, but it's like the buttons are too low. It's like I would have rather had the spinner and the buttons swapped. Put the spinners on the lower side and the buttons on the top. I just don't have enough hand space to control the buttons the way I would prefer to. But otherwise, I really love the Tempest. Asteroids Deluxe is one of my favorite games. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. Love your stuff, Detroit. Thanks to you, I was able to mod my Street Fighter 1-up. 95% of the people that come and watch my content don't subscribe. I don't know, maybe because I'm bald headed. I don't know what it is. But they come and get what they want, and they leave a lot of comments. They ask questions, so there's the engagement. But that's true with most YouTubers. The majority of people that watch them, because it pops up in their feed, and they think they're subscribed, but they're not. So if you guys aren't subscribed, I appreciate it if you guys would hit that subscribe button. It really would help the channel. Did you ever mod the Teenage Mutant Ninja one? No, I have not. The only cabinet I have that's more than a 2-player is the NBA Jam, and that's my grandson's, and I'm hoping to get that over to Canada to them soon. So I have not modified the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Kevret says, haha, they can easily prove us wrong, but they fail to do so with every release. I don't know if I'm keeping buying them, though, since they jacked the prices up. Yeah, we all have those cabinets that, if they release it, we'll bite our tongue and get it. What up, Dr. Funk? Yeah, Papa, you do me bad. Come on. Let's see here. I think Arcade1up does need beta testers, and they could utilize as fans, players as testers. I'm fine with that. The more, the merrier. Microsoft does that with their Windows Insider program. Yeah, I was a part of Windows Insider for years. You get the early releases, get all the programs and test them and install them on your machines. Pretty good program. And they just disappeared. I think they have some form of it today, but I've been off of it for a few years now. Bradley Goat says, I got the Tempest cab when it was on sale for $150. I didn't get it for that cheap. I think I got it for maybe $250. I have other cabs that have the same games. I agree on the controls, but for $150, it's a great cab. Yeah, it looks awesome. Yeah, and I may mod it to change that out, because it's just my hands are getting old and achy, so in certain positions it's just it just doesn't help. Paul says Canada let you in now. Oh yeah, that's why here I still got to do that. I have the app, whatever it's called, Arrive Canada, I think it's called, and I got to upload all my paperwork and arrange something. I got to get it done. I got to stop talking to get it done. Yeah, the borders are open, but you have to jump to these hoops. See, before they were saying the borders are open, but you have to quarantine for 14 days. So what? So if you got there, you're supposed to stay for 14 days. So that obviously is not going to work for the majority of us. I was thinking of getting the T2, one of the Killer Instinct ones, but again, the prices. Yeah, no, the Time Crisis, That's what I'm looking for. I'm hoping that comes out. My wife has already told me 3 cabinets ago, don't buy any more cabinets. But you know, the little money I make off of this channel is the money I put back into the arcade. So she don't have much to say, but she's gonna say. I always say my wife, she has she has tons of opinions and she loves to share them. So she's always talking smack about these. But if she has a birthday party, she'll do an '80s party and invite all her friends over and enjoy the arcade. So she loves them. But you know, she's always got something to say about it. Yeah, I know. When they changed the rules with the insiders, I just never kept up with it, and my company used to pay for it. Okay, yeah, yeah. I thought it was 250. Yeah, that's what I got my Tempest for, 250. I'm just joking with you, Papa. You said you had. I don't know if you said you've been sub for a while or you haven't been sub. I thought you said you haven't been sub for a while, so that's why I was giving you some static. That's all. Ain't nothing but love. Nothing but love. Man, it's in my name. Come on now. Nothing but love for you guys. I appreciate you guys showing up. I have no idea how many people out there, but hey, man, it's been a while since I came on for my Saturday Night Live um, live broadcast. I had my brother-in-law paint my first floor, the first floor of the house. We built this house like 8 years ago, and we needed to fresh up the paint. He did a great job, fantastic job, and so spent the day just trying to get everything back in order. Um, so that was fun. But Saturday is always my time I spend with my lady, my wife. Let's see. What up? What up? What up? That's awesome. I'm working on finishing my basement and making the arcade room. You bring up a good point about the time crisis one. Might wait on that. Yeah, I have all these videos from this guy called the basement finishing guy or something like that. Um, and it shows you how to do absolutely everything. And I keep saying I'm gonna do this, but my carpentry skills are not the best. Leveling and making sure things are plumb. Um, but while I love my space and I got tons of space down here, by it not being finished, not having walls, just it's just nerve wracking. Just nerve wracking to not have walls, be able to hang up pictures and things like that. So I just been afraid to put the money into because my wife has always threatened to sell the house. She wants to move and she wants to, but now she's saying she's fine here. So I don't want to put this money into it for somebody else. And my wife talks like that a lot of times, like, oh, resale value. I don't care about resale value. I care about the house being what I have and can enjoy. I don't do anything in this house for the next person. I do for this house, for me and my family. Um, so that's where I'm at. I would love to finish the basement. Goofy Foot says the only 2 cabinets that I haven't had any problem from Arcade1up are the first gen Galaga and Pac-Man, and they play on the regular basis, and he plays them on a regular basis for 3 years now. Now, my funny story with my Galaga, my marquee, it wasn't backlit, just a graphic. It was shipped upside down. So, and I still have it somewhere around here. The Galaga came upside down, and I was going to mod it anyway. As you can see there, I have it backlit, so I was going to do that anyway. But it was still, if I wasn't, I would have been pretty bummed out that if if I had to I would have just taken it back to the store at that time. And now the Galaga is the only cabinet that I got. Well, the Tempest I got cheaper, but the Galaga was back then was the only one I got. I think I got it for like maybe 249 or something like that, which still wasn't very cheap, but it was lower than the 299 that it was at the time. Uh, Paul says the arcade looks awesome. Thank you, sir. Um, I got you, Papa. Brad. I appreciate you too. Let's see here. My main concern being in the Midwest is making sure the basement doesn't flood from all the rain. Researching, make sure that doesn't happen. Now, funny you should say that. I had at the house I had before, previously, my hot water tank corroded and spilled the water all over the floor. I had carpet down there, and I had to get that all replaced. Um, so, as you can see on the pictures, none of these things are risen off the ground, but I try to keep most things off the floor because of that experience. If it's never happened to you, you never think about it. But once it has, um, you know, you have to make some adjustments because it's always something that's possible. Now, it's not a funny thing, but after we built the house, the neighbor on both sides of me and the neighbor on the right, two neighbors, two houses down, something happened with the underground plumbing, and all of their houses flooded with like sewage. And my house was spared. And I have right where I'm sitting now, there's actually a sump pump in the ground here, and that thing, if any liquid gets into it, it sucks it out so fast. I used to think it wasn't working, but it's so quiet, it doesn't make a sound at all. But I'll just pour a gallon of water down it periodically just to see it work because I always think it never works because I never hear it. Some of my neighbors, I hear theirs all the time from outside. But I guess the way my house is positioned, most of the water goes to the two houses on the houses on each side of me, which is obviously a great thing to have. Yeah, every man needs their walls, man. Yeah, I mean, it's so many things I want to put up on the walls that I cannot. Um, will I ever buy a full size cabinet? I'll never say never. Um, I have a buddy who seems like he buys a full size cabinet like every 2 weeks or so. And he used to send me uh, sales thing, cabinets he know I like. But since I never, I never buy one, he stopped sending them. But I would never say never because we never know if the right cabinet, right circumstances. Um, but I just don't like the size of them. I don't. My buddy has the Rygar, I think we determined, um, and he's had that for years, and is in his garage. He's even offered to give it to me and let me mod it because he's not using it. But the sucker's 300 pounds, 30+ years old, with been sitting in garage and heat and mouse pee and rat poo, and it just doesn't appeal to me. Now, obviously, if you buy one that's minus the mouse pee and the rat poo, it's going to be more expensive, more pristine. Uh, the better the shape it is, the higher the price, right? So, I can get his and modify it, but I would never say never. If I did get a full size, it would probably be a Donkey Kong, um, or like a Tekken 3 or Tekken whatever. Um, those are only two that I would have to get a super great deal to even consider it. Um, it's just not. I mean, I'm 5'7". These cabinets are. I'm like taller than most of these cabinets, but you know, they're perfect size. So the XL, I like that, which is about the size of the Ultimate, the Legends Ultimate, just a little wider or a little deeper. Yeah, you just never know where these full size cabinets went because they just been around for so many years, right? Get shipped around, beat up, cigarette burns, beer spills. It's just so much time for so many things to happen to them. I have a four-player Blitz and have it and had it sold, but couldn't get it out of my basement. It's 700 pounds. I guess it will Coney when I sell the house. Oh, well, that's similar to like my last house. I had a beautiful pool table. I had a beautiful pool table. I love pool. I played pool for years, and I've been probably 10 years now without having a pool table in the house. This drives me batty. Um, but that was dilemma when I was selling the house. Couldn't get rid of this thing. This thing, it costs money for somebody to move it. And plus, when I had my two girls, they started using the pool table as a buffet table and party table, and and the felt got damaged. So for it to be moved, it would cost money. It would cost move to break it down and move it and take it somewhere else, and then do the surface. Um, but that's the challenge with those things. I saw a post on one of the arcade groups, and the guy had got, like, I think, a Star Wars trilogy in a big giant truck. I'm like, the only place that thing could fit is in my garage. It would never get through any of the doors. And so that's the challenge you have with those big giant things. Um, the one full cab I love to get is titled Cold Ice Beer. Such a cool game. I've never heard of that. Yeah, so I just wanted to just do a open video. You know how they used to do an open letter? Just do an open video to Arcade1up and say, look, the community is here for your success. The 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 community wants the best product that you can produce. The community supports you, and so utilize us, utilize the resources that you have, so that you don't have to, produce products that are just subpar. That frustrates your customer base to be able to have a functioning cabinet, and then all of a sudden, you know, it's not doing what it's supposed to do. That is so frustrating. Um, you guys hear me gripe about the at games products all the time, with that forced login. It's just maddening. I'll turn on these cabinets, and I would go and literally want to go play Crazy Climber or Battle Zone on my Ultimate Legends Ultimate, and I gotta go find my phone to do the UR code to sign in. By the time I do all that, I'm just gonna go play something else, play some Golden Tee, play some Pac Man or whatever. It's just we have limited time to put into these things to play. And again, I'm never going to play all these cabinets in a given week or so, but when I want to play a particular game, I want to be able to go down there, turn it on, and play. My Big Blue, just yesterday, I believe it was. It may have been Thursday. I turned it on, and it had an update, and it updated. And as far as I know, everything's good. P Dub said it fixed the last issue, but I hadn't played it. But you know, you turn on those things, and while that might be a small inconvenience for it to update, especially if you have someone coming over like, hey, let's play it, it doesn't take all that long. But those things are inconvenient, but it's even more inconvenient if that update is going to break the daggone cabinet. So um, and even with IRK, just all of a sudden now they're every time I turn it on, it's asking me for a password, and I've entered it a couple of times. And then the next time is there again. So now I just hit the Z button and to skip it. And I don't know if that means if I buy a game that's not going to download until I sign in. I don't know what that means. But you know, uh, those things are just frustrating when they can be avoided. I think there is a kids friendly version called Zilk's Peak. Never heard of that. Good. I played through Arabian Magic by Taito today. I never played that arcade before. It's pretty fun. Reminds me of the old Sinbad movie from the 70s. Interesting. And which cabinet is that on, Papa Brad? Yeah, I'm assuming that's iArcade. The frustration with Arcade1up is we keep bringing up the same issues for the last 3 years. Well, I mean, in their defense, they do seem to learn, but just very slowly for some reason. And they're not a big, huge company, so they should be able to make decisions faster, um, and make sound decisions. Again, they've listened to us and got the backlit marquees. Even on the counter case now they have the backlit marquees. It's just a go. Now they still hadn't heard from me and put the batteries in the countercades. If any of you guys own any of those mini arcades, like who makes those mini arcades? Replicate and um, quarter arcades or whatever the guys are called. They all have batteries in it because when you have those smaller units, it's way more convenient to be able to just take it and sit it somewhere on the surface and play, as opposed to looking and hunting for a plug that's going to be, or actually hunting for a spot that you can sit it where there's actually a plug at. Yeah, but I think it's just a little frustrating. But they are listening in some areas, and in some areas it's not. So I'm hoping they're listening to us now and get these beta testers active with these updates before they release them. So Alan's ageless arcade. I have 3 Arcade1up countercades, 4 bar tops, 12 full size cabinets. I'm sold on full size cabinets and okay with the counter and party case for a cheaper price. Rather spend more money on full size, not on Arcade1up 3/4 scales. Yeah, and so again, full size cabinets, everyone's not going to have the space to have 12 full size cabinets, right? Some people only have space for 1 or 2. So everybody's different. Everybody's budget is different. Everybody's love and appreciation for the games are different. Everybody has different games that they really like to play. I have a buddy, old friend from 4th grade. He wants to have Defender, and I talked to him briefly about the options that we have, and I think he settled on the Party Cade with Defender. He said that works with his budget, the portability of it. So everybody's different, and everybody has that game that they just have to have. Right, I assumed it was iArcade. iArcade released it. I never saw the arcade game ever. It's a fun game. Yes, New Wave Toys. All those guys have battery operated miniature machines, which makes it a much better product. Yep, and Bradley Go. I've done that on all of my arcades. I've actually modded the Galaga and gave it to my longtime friend Sean, that I've known since 4th grade as well. He borrowed it, or he didn't borrow it. Actually, I had it because you can travel with it. You can take it with it. And I was at my wife's cousin's house, and they had a gathering, and I thought we would use it there. And he lives up the street from there, so I walked it over there and I left it. And it was there for months and months. And the crazy thing is, I never had a charging cable with it. And he played that thing for literally about a year, just on the charge that he had when I left it with him. And then he finally called up and was like, "Hey, how do you even charge this thing?" And I'm not sure if you, Brady Goat, if you made it so the door can open up, or you just unscrew the back when you need it, because the batteries last so long. It's not that much of a hassle if you just unscrew the door to charge up the battery every 5 or 6, 8, 12 months from now, right? But he loves that counter K, and he just loves the convenience. He has on his nightstand. He can take it and put it somewhere else. But that Galaga, I modified it and put, I think it's, it has thousands of games, but it only shows the major popular vertical games. I do need to send him a link and tell him to order the 8-way to 4-way switcher that Glenn's Retro Show and Stefan Berger has created, because he needs to order that, and I need to go and add that to that Arcade1up counter K for him. I've never owned any of the party Ks myself, so I don't. they just seemed like they was weird shape, and I've never seen one in person, so I'm only thinking from the talking from what the pictures I've seen. Um, Defender was a game that I played quite a bit in the bowling alley growing up. I was never really good at it. Never really good at it. Stargate came out. I was less good with that one. But it was just way too much action for me, and my reflexes, I guess, is just not fast enough to. I could catch some of those humanoids that are falling when you shoot the guy, but that game was just stressed me out. Those whatever the flying creatures were start jerking around, and then those little things that were falling around. It was just too much. It was just too much for me. I just never could be very good at Defender, but I like Defender. Every now and then I'll put it on and play it for a very short time because I'm gonna get my butt whipped in Defender. No doubt about that. It's going to happen if I play Defender. Yeah, again, I've never had one, so I've never paid too much attention to them. I've never seen one in the store. Where do you even buy these party cakes from? I know QVC had. Is that the only place you can buy them? Arcade1up and QVC. Just curious because I've never seen them like at Walmart or anywhere else. I have been. What up, John? When I have been to the highest mountaintop, spent all day there on Thursday. It's heaven on earth and is not in Iowa. All right. Well, I guess I'm gonna need a little more information. Greetings. It says strange. The marquees look great on party case, and the 3/4 mounts are all washed out. Now, in my picture here, my Galaga, that's not a Arcade1up backlit marquee, and so that one actually has an adjuster. I could turn that down to make that less bright, but I've not had any really issues with the marquees. The only, and it only looks like that in pictures. It doesn't look like that when you're looking at it. The only cabinet I have that doesn't have a marquee is the IRK, and boy, I wish I was talking with one vendor, one of the third party vendors, and I would want something that would attach to the top but hang over the speakers and light up that area as opposed to making it taller because it already has like a unique shape and it doesn't need to be any taller. That's what I want. So anybody listening that's got some skills with 3D printing or wood or whatever you need to craft it to make a backlit marquee for IRKs that attaches to the top and overhangs over the speakers, that would be something I'm curious to learn more and would like to buy. Over 400 pinball games, all functional and none are repeated. Okay, well, hey, you know I'm a fan of pinball, and the VPX, man, is sweet, sweet, sweet. You see in my picture back there, I have the Toy Shock and the IRK, and even though I'm sorry, the X Games, and even though the X Games is bigger, I have still not done anything with that. I have Bobby Vu's back glass, but like I said, I have limited time. So when I come, I turn on the Toy Shock and I play my games and I look at the X Games Legends Pinball, and I dream about modding it one day, but I don't know when I'm going to do it. But the Toy Shock still satisfies me to get my quick fix, so I have not done anything. Now, the other thing aside from the button placement on my Tempest is the centipede. God, I wish that they didn't stretch that image. That just bugs me. So I don't play Centipede on it. I do have Centipede on my modified Galaga, and the placement of the Galaga's trackball is right where the speaker used to be. So it's not ideal for anything like bowling because it's just too close to the screen. but it's perfect for Centipede, Millipede, those type of games, the left right games. But for some reason, and for any of you guys that have modded devices, whether it's a PC, whether it's a Arcade1up with retro a Raspberry Pi, make sure you back up your image. I didn't have my Galaga backed up. I had the Street Fighter backed up because I've made a dozen of those for people over the first couple of years they came out. So I have tons of image of those, but for some reason I never had, or I lost the image that I had of my Galaga, and so I had to get another image. And for some reason the trackball is not working on that image that I put on there, and I just hadn't had time to fix it. But that's a vertical screen, and that's where I would prefer to play Centipede. But until I get that ball fixed, and that's the thing. The more cabinets you get, you're like an arcade owner. Sometimes you're going to have a out of order sign on one of these machines at any given time because things happen. Paul says, "I didn't. Didn't you reuse the handle from the box of the Arcade?" I did. I did. I saved those. I grew up poor, and so I hate to throw away things that could have another purpose. Um, and so, and I'm a techie, so it usually surrounds technology that I hoard things. Like I still have my PlayStation 1, probably have two of those, PlayStation 2, somewhere in a box somewhere, but I just hate to throw away things. But yeah, I reused the handle that came on. Now, some of the counter cases, like from the QVC, they're not like retail packaged for retail, so they don't have that case or that holder or that handle. But yes, the one that's sold like at Walmart and things like that, it has a retail package that has the handles. But I don't know if I don't believe the last few things like the Tempest Legacy, Atari Legacy, or the Big Blue, I don't recall their boxes having those handles. They could have, but I don't recall offhand. But early on, all of even the 3/4 scales had those handles, and I always keep them. Never know when you're gonna need them. But yeah, it just that counter K has a nice weight to it, and to be able to, pick it up and hold it one hand is fantastic. In addition to the battery, I just Velcro them to the back, and then I can switch the batteries out for one cab to another without having to open it. Okay, and that's what I did initially. So if you go and look at my videos, I initially Velcroed the battery to the back, and then I put hinges. I put hinges on the door and a little handle, and plus the handle to hold the thing. So it's a little tedious to do, but it looks fantastic, and you have access. But yeah, I initially started off the same way because the main thing was getting that battery in use, right? But I modified it so that door swings open. But even if you secure the inside, to take off those two screws or one screw, or whatever you secure it with, every now and then wouldn't be a big deal. So you can Velcro the inside so it doesn't, you don't have exposure to that battery outside. So that's something to consider as well. So John Wynn did looks like he did a pinball machine with 500 arcade games as well as tons and tons of VPN games. I'm assuming that's a Windows PC, obviously. I do not get why they do not fix them. It's like they do not care about the marquees. Moon Patrol. I love me some Moon Patrol. Yeah, Moon Patrol. I have it on both my modded cabinets. Moon Patrol is just a very basic, cool game, and it just takes me back to the beginning. It's a pretty cool game. Even Jungle Hunt, I haven't played. I think I may have played Jungle Hunt. Is it King of the Jungle or Jungle Hunt? Which one is it? When you're swinging on the vines and swimming around the alligators and jumping over the boulders coming down the hill. Is that Jungle King or is that Jungle Hunt? I can't remember what the name of it is, but maybe I'll play that tonight. It's I guess it's not so early now, huh? Okay, so party Ks were exclusive to QVC and HSN. Yeah, because I've never seen one outside of those places. Yeah, and that's what I heard. I've heard nothing but good things, so that's why I referred it to my buddy Greg, and so he'll let me know if he picks up one. Um, what up, Gregory? Welcome to the Saturday Night Live with Detroit Love, man. Just out here, just talking with the community. Initially, uh, letting Arcade1up know that they have a fan base that has these products that are willing to, you know, be the guinea pigs to make sure that they're not releasing crap out to the to people when they do their updates. So utilize the resources that you have. Of all these hundreds and hundreds of people, there's a handful of people that are willing to say, hey, yeah, send me the update, you know, um, and I'll test it out before you send it to the masses. Ollie's has, I'm assuming, a party cade for 159. Interesting. I've only know in our area there's only one Ollie's that I know of, and I used to actually be pre-pandemic. I used to ride my electric bike to work. I'm 40 miles from work, and I would ride 20 miles on my bike, and then put the bike on the bus, or I would put my bike on the car and drive the first 20 miles, and then ride the other 20 miles to work. And at least on two occasions, I've gone the whole 40 miles on my bike. And now I have an electric bike, um, but prior to me having an electric bike, I rode my regular bike 20 miles to work every day. But when I moved farther out, I had to get some assistance and it's not that I couldn't ride it. It would take you 3 hours to get to go 40 miles on the regular bike, and you'd be sweaty, and so the electric bike is awesome to let me get there timely. So 20 hours on my electric bike is an hour. I've heard nothing about this at Games Racer. Is vaporware as far as I know. Thanks a lot, Gregory. Yeah, I mean, I love my arcade. Um, you see, I have those little puzzle type padding. I swiped on for my wife, so you have some cushion right at the arcade. Um, I'm older. I love to stand. Like even right now, none of those stools are in front of my cabinets. I have them for other people. I seldom ever sit down on the cabinets. Um, and even right now where I'm sitting, I have one of those like um, what they call fatigue mats. You know, I would love to get a big long fatigue mat, but those things are just so expensive. I think this little small one I have here was probably $50, which is pretty ridiculous. But these pads definitely helps to give you something softer to stand on. I have concrete floors in my unfinished basement. Some of you guys have carpet, obviously, and other materials, but for this concrete would suck the life out of your feet if you didn't have those paddings there at all. What up, Randy White? Randy says, I hope the new monitor that is in Golden T is not the new KI or NBA Jam. Well, I mean, the one that's in the Golden T, you know, apparently looks great when you're standing straight on, and from one side, I believe the right side, but not from the left side. So, I mean, they should put a better monitor into it, but in my opinion, the Golden Tee, people are usually going to be drinking. Their buddy's going to be off doing something else until their turn to play. So I don't think you're going to really you're going to be standing in front of this cabinet playing. So I don't think it's as big of a deal. But if it's and I think that's what you're saying. Oh, that's exactly what you're saying. You hope the new monitor that's in the Golden Tee is not in the KI or NBA Jam, right? And that will make a huge difference with those cabinets, because you get either got two people playing at the same time, or you probably have more spectators watching those games. So yeah, I hope they do not. I agree with you. I hope they do not put the same monitor in the Shaq NBA Jam and the new KI Pro. Alan said he's a hoarder too. I'm a tech hoarder. It's called Next Level Pinball Museum outside of Portland. Oh, okay, I got you. I got you. So I thought you had built a cab or modded a cab, but you saying you went to the mecca of pinball and arcades. That's pretty cool. $20 all day, all games except the redemption games, free play. Um, yeah, I've never been to one of those pay and play places. We still have a couple of arcades, two downtown, one in Ann Arbor, um, and uh, and I love that they still take quarters. I was never a fan of tokens. Um, Never a fan of tokens, because you buy tokens, you have to use them if or you take them home and hope to go back, but then you don't, so you didn't end up having these tokens. I probably have a drawer with a few. Um, what's the mouse name? I've been drinking tonight, so I apologize. I'm a little slow. The Chuck E. Cheese token somewhere, and then I despise those cards that the Dave and Buster's and those guys use, where they have this point system, and it costs you 66.89 points to play a game. And those things are just a ripoff. It's designed to always have a balance so that you always have to put more money in it, because you can't just leave uh, a number of point or credits that you can't use, right? So you have to add more. It's a money making thing. It's just ridiculous. I hate that. If I go to a place, I just I won't play much, because that stuff just irks me. Um, well, that's so fine. That's fine if you did have some business affiliation. If people want to go and play, $20 to play all the games they can there, and they're in that area, why not spread the information? Um, I don't know why people get so bent out of shape about that. We're here to spread the joy of this craft, this arcades. If people can enjoy it, somebody's gonna make some money off of it, no matter what we do. You know what I mean? So I don't get to all that silly stuff. I have the Defender Party K and love it. Arcade1up did a great job with that one. That is good to hear. Hope my buddy picks it up. I'll have to drop him a line and see what his plans are. Yeah, the Golden Tee sucks now with the new update, man. I hope they get a patch out there to you guys soon. And see, even like this, you guys make this thing vocal. You let it know, like, hey, man, you guys check this up. I'm sure you guys opened up tickets. Arcade1up. They have people to say, hey, let me send this new patch to Randy White's, you know, machine first. Randy, you agree to let us try this out, and then he can, work with them and get it fixed. And then that way, when they send it out to everybody else, the next patch, you know, is not a problem like the Big Blue, where they fixed one thing, but then they broke another one, so they had to do another patch, and now they're on the third patch. It's like, come on, guys, test these things before you send them out. I chuckled at the Arcade1up fatigue, Mac, but if you're playing on a concrete floor, yeah, it makes sense. Yeah, if you got a concrete floor, man, it will drain every bit of energy out of you pretty quick. I want that Defender Party K to mod into a full size cabinet with proper controls. Um, Gorf, I don't know, I played Gorf. Again, when we grew up, I'm 56 as of last week. So my birthday was last Wednesday, and we didn't. I didn't have an arcade initially around me. We had the two party stores. Excuse me. We had two party stores, and that had like maybe two games each. So that was four games, and then we had a bowling alley that would probably have four games in it, and so they would rotate games out. So we played what was available. So you might have loved Galaga, but then in 3 weeks Galaga was gone, and now you had Defenders, right? So you had to play Defenders. So um, you know, it's everybody has that game that really resonates with them, because they used to go on summer trips down, and they had a game here, or they visit their brother and or sister in college, and they had this particular game. We all have a story. We all have a story of why we love particular games. Like a buddy of mine, he loved I think it's called Warp, and I remember that game. I couldn't have told you what the name of it was. Um, and he came over here to the house, and on my modded Galaga, he played that thing for hours. No other game, wasn't interested in any other game, but that particular game, Warp or whatever the heck it was. I had to find it on my cabinet and make it available because I don't. I have like over 2,000 games on or more, or 5,000 games, or whatever the number is on my two cabinets that's modded. But I only show a really small list of games so that people can find something and play it as opposed to scrolling for hours in that list. Says I also my golden T cap does not get rid of the credits. Cap does not get rid of the credits. Does that mean I'm telling it? It's telling me how many times I played it. I'm not sure what you're saying here. Also, my golden T cabinet does not get rid of the credits. Oh yeah, yeah. That's the way. That's the way the even the old golden T was. The credits never disappear. I probably have 300 credits on my golden T. Every time you hit the button, because you hit the button to advance, it puts another credit in. It's kind of weird that way. And that's as far as I know, that's the only cabinet that does that from Arcade1up. I'm not aware of any other cabinet that just constantly puts credits in whenever you advance the screen or whatever. Customers that care program, absolutely. Yeah, we had Chuck E. Cheese. Now, I got married at 18. I had my first son at 21. So we spent years and years in Chuck E. Cheese. Had two boys, 3 years apart, and then I got remarried years later, and then I had two girls that are 10 years apart from the boys. And so between those two sets of boys and girls, I've spent hours and hours and hours in Chuck E. Cheese over the years. Oh, well, happy belated birthday, John Wynn. Turned 54 last week. The pinball thing was part of my week-long birthday celebration. That's awesome. Awesome. So you're 2 years behind me. Yeah, I would love to go to like the pinball museum, and I think it's in Vegas one of these days. Yo, what up, worst Django? Jago. I'm not sure who Nolan Bushnell is, but they own Chuck E. Cheese. My Big Blue won't demo games anymore. Gotta love updates. Oh, interesting. Okay, I have to turn mine on and see what's happening. The Miss Pac-Man countercade racks up the credits also. Oh, really? I've never noticed that. I have an unmodded Miss Pac-Man. I'm not aware of that. Um, yeah, well, I mean, it's modded to have a backlit marquee and a battery, but as far as that, it's a stock PCB. But yeah, I've never noticed that it keeps the credits. I have to take a look at that game vet. Well, guys, anything else on your mind tonight? I appreciate you guys hanging with me. We're just over an hour here, but I just want to cut in. It was early, but now it's late. But I had a little time. I just want to get that off my chest, just to let do this open video to Arcade1up and say, hey guys, listen, we definitely love your products, and we definitely wish that you guys would utilize us. You've learned a lot from us over the years to make these things. It's near perfect, even though the price has gone up. It's still affordable for people to at least get one cabinet. Now, most people aren't going to have all of these cabinets like I have, and Arcade one of them knows that. But if they can keep these prices where people can at least get their favorite cabinet and maybe another one, that is pretty awesome. But you know, we're here, and we're willing to help you keep growing and getting better, and not embarrassing yourself, and not stumbling over updates. I appreciate it, man. You guys all take care, man. I appreciate you. I love you guys as well. Nothing but love here from Detroit for you guys, man. I love these arcades. I love talking about these things. I love sharing and chatting with you guys. And until next time, guys, And ladies, I'll see you on the web. Did want to share one little thing. Can I find it? Let's see. Videos. Just let some of your goodbyes go. Thank you. It was fun, guys. And I also wanted to test this microphone being in my face like this. Here we go. I love this Arcade1up commercial when they first came out. I'm gonna end it. I'm gonna end this broadcast with that. Take care, everyone. Let's see if I put this over here. Drag that over there. And let's give it another second here. See if there's any more comments I can put up. Yep. Gotta jump on and test that equipment. Yes, we do. And let's end it with this commercial.
Dad, how do I eat all the goats? Dad.
I can teach you, buddy.
Bring the classic arcade experience home with Arcade1up. Cabinets and risers each sold separately.
And I don't know if you guys noticed, those were Canadian quarters they slapped on that Galaga. Bye!